All right. Um, Welcome back, Team Initiative Syndicate. Good to see everyone's names lighting up on the Discord chat. Uh,
Woo!
we have been on a little bit of a hiatus slash break while we take a little vacation from playing D&D and doing some other things, vacations and figuring out what we were going to do for campaign 2. And this is going to be our session 0. We did not stream or put out our session 0 from the previous one. I think we did it on Discord as well. This one will be a little bit more in depth, but not overly complicated. And the reason that we are streaming the session 0 is there's a lot of groups that have never had one or aren't really sure about how to go about doing it. And we feel like this will be a really good thing to put out there for any groups who are like, what's a session 0 and why do you guys have it? We have a lot of things in our advantage because we have already been playing together for a while now. Some of us for a few years, and a lot of the things that we'll go over are going to be very quick and brief because we already kind of know each other. We already kind of know what the limits of everybody is and what their tolerance for certain things is, and what their triggers and things are like that. But D&D as a game is supposed to be a safe place for everyone who is playing at the table, and that doesn't mean that you can't push the boundaries sometimes, but at the same time, you're not trying to traumatize your players. Not permanently, not for real. While some people may have, certain phobias of things that they don't like, they're not going to be going to therapy for it afterwards. They're just like, that was creepy and I didn't like that. Maybe not fight any more of those. But we're not trying to cause any permanent psyche damage. And everyone that comes to the table, including any guests that come in, they are welcome and they are informed that this is a safe place to be who you want to be, play your character how you want to play it, and as long as you don't come in with a negative energy, we welcome you.
That
So,
being said, I forgive you for the spiders.
hey, see, but like you don't like
Forgiveness.
spiders, and that's okay. But you're not like, oh man, I couldn't sleep after that session because you threw some spiders in there. Like I felt completely uncomfortable the whole time we were playing, and I just don't feel like I can play anymore. We don't want that.
Well, with that being said, too, wasps.
Wasps. Okay. Okay. Um.
Don't use a giant wasp stat sheet then, I guess.
Yeah. Also, mushrooms. If we fight a mushroom, I'm leaving.
Mushroom. Like myconids.
I just hate mushrooms. Maybe I'll
Really?
just slaughter them.
Okay. All right.
Good thing I'm not a
I'm
spores druid.
I'm gonna make some notes on this. So he says no spiders, no wasps, and no mushrooms. I
Well,
was
your
very
list is awfully long.
I was very kind to you last campaign. The only like real spider you guys met, you guys didn't have to fight.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
See, you like to kill the things that you're afraid of.
That's right. You should see my balcony. There's a bunch of dead wasps out there. Tell your friends.
All right. So, we're gonna do this session 0 in basically 5 sections. All right. They are in a particular order. But before we get into all of that, I want to just welcome everybody back. Uh, Thanks everybody for saying that you wanted to come back and play our season 2, our campaign 2. Um, like the little bit that we've got to talk about it off the air. I'm really digging the energy everybody's bringing into it, and it's kind of like a new car smell, like it's just there's no feeling to describe like when the new campaign starts up. It's incredible. So again, thank you everybody for coming back and allowing me to run you through another campaign.
Excited.
So, with that, we're going to go into section 1 of our little 5-portion things. Um, we're going to spend just like a very brief sort of I guess it's you guys, like I said, you guys have already been playing with each other for a little while, but this would be more a better suited topic for people who have not played with each other, or maybe they haven't played with everybody at the table. You guys are basically just going to be telling me individually what is it that you really enjoy the most about playing tabletop RPGs. You guys can go in any order that you want. I'll just go down the list. Uh, I think it'd be Bill. I think Bill. I think you're alphabetically first on the Discord list, so we'll go with Bill first. What is it that you really enjoy most about tabletop RPGs? Like the one thing, if you had to pick one thing above all other things, what is it that you really enjoy the most?
Um, I don't know. The things I feel like I have the most fun doing are like those weird ass things that probably wouldn't make sense in real life, like things you'd see in a movie. Like a lot of the shit that Skriz did, just like it was so much fun to watch just chaos ensue. And like, I love the fact that everything is unscripted. We don't know what's coming. Um, yeah, I love just kind of playing off the edge of our seats and like just doing some weird stuff. It might work, it might not work, but it is amazing when you get the right roll. And the stupidest plan in the world is so badass when you do it.
All right. I feel like that's a really good answer. It's fun watching you guys come up with things. Sometimes I'm not gonna lie.
I also like to find good, like strange uses for the stupidest items in the world. Like when I had the movable rod and I used it to stop those steps as the kind of trap in the one dungeon. It was like it's such a weird thing. Nobody expected it coming, but stuff like that is really cool to me.
I like to think that I do my best to not tell you guys no. I try to let you guys just try things. I try to look at it from a logical standpoint, and I won't lie. Sometimes you guys do some things, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" All right, let's just see what happens.
Yeah, and when it works out, it's so good.
All right, I like the answer. I like the answer. Um, Next one down on the list, that would be Jesse. What is it about the tabletop RPGing that you like to do the most? Like, is it fighting stuff, or is it dungeons, or is it just hanging out with everybody? Like, what is it about playing TT RPGs that you enjoy the most?
I like the getaway. I feel like it's a nice reprieve from reality. So, it's been one of those little nice escape rooms since I was a kid.
Mhm.
If the world's burning around you, at least you have your friends and family around you at this table that you can just go to a different realm, be somebody different,
Mhm.
and you can act out those feelings that you've probably bottled up inside you. So I love the role playing. I like to see, I think at the table, you see more of who that person sitting across from you really is, who they really are
Mhm.
when they role play their character.
I agree. I agree. All right,
I,
that
I hate I hate robots.
Where's the like button?
And mind flayers.
Yeah,
yeah, and intellect devours. Yeah, all
and,
that.
and mimics.
Mimics, yeah.
Dude, not to derail, but to derail a little bit. I was accidentally on Timu and they have a mimic Lego set.
Nice.
So look for that
Oh,
coming, that decoration coming.
All right, well, that's two pretty good answers to start off. Let's go to Rob. What is it about TTRPGs? Because not only do you play as a player, but you also run some. You run some games. So what is it about the whole aspect of TTRPGs that you enjoy the most?
I'd have to say I like combat in general, but I like creative combat as well. I like fun monsters, especially when it's like I like a good mixture of like um original monsters that you kind of expect to be there. Um, some classic monsters. But I also really like homebrewing monsters, and I like your homebrew monsters too. Like I love the way that you homebrew your monsters. Sometimes they're always interesting, and sometimes you don't know what to expect.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
Makes it for a fun challenge.
Yeah, I'd say out of not that anybody else is not a good like tactical player, but you could always see the gears working in your brain when combat is happening. So um, you usually have pretty good plans. You're one of the hardest players to kill. Like you're one of the hardest players to drop. And I feel like it won't matter what class you're playing. You're gonna just be that person.
Maybe a little bit.
All right. So other Jess, what is it about the TTRPGs that you really enjoy the most? Like, what's the one aspect if you had to pick one that you're just like, yep, that's why I really like playing.
Well, I hate to steal other people's answers, but really it's
Not
a combination
stealing.
of well, it's the social interaction. I love that, and the creativity. I mean, we do have goals, but otherwise we can basically go do whatever. We can create whatever character we want. If the rules don't quite meet what we want, you don't mind homebrewing something sometimes. And that mix is just amazing. I love it.
Hmm. Yeah, that's not a thefted answer. It's a good answer. That's a fair and honest answer. All right. Well, that leaves our fearless leader, Mr. Aaron.
Oh yeah.
What is it about the TTRPGs that you enjoy the most? What's the one thing that keeps you coming back every time?
Ooh, this is tough. I'm just gonna go ditto on what everybody else said, but I don't know. Just the fact that nobody plays the same character. They're not cookie cutter.
Mhm,
I mean, obviously that's part of your group, but no, just the non cookie cutter kind of seeing where people's stories go.
mhm,
And for a silly little RPG game, you grow attachment and feelings towards the character.
mhm.
That's about it.
Okay. All right. Um, all of those are like really good answers. All right, I got one more question in the section one category, which actually is more about our previous campaign. Um, how would everybody say that they enjoyed the experience as far as the amount of combat, the amount of puzzles, the amount of dungeons? Do you feel that there was enough of a mix of all of those things that kind of made everybody feel that there were sessions, obviously, that you're going to enjoy more than others, but it wasn't just leaned too heavily in one way or another? Does everybody feel like it was pretty balanced? And I guess we'll just start at the top again with Bill.
Yeah, I felt like it was pretty good. You know, we had sessions that were only one thing, like combat, and sessions that were only RP, and then we had an equal amount of shopping sessions, which I know everybody loves. Jesse. Yeah, I felt like it was a pretty good mix of things. Yeah, we got, surprise encounters too all the time, so we never knew. We kind of always had to keep our guard up, which kept us on our toes, and things we didn't think were going to be encounters, like the mimics. Just right in the middle of the world, it just happens.
Hmm.
Um, so I feel like it was a pretty good mix overall. Um, I really think like my favorite kinds of challenges we did was like when we did the Rakdos challenge and some of those, like the Rakdos challenge was just so much fun. Just a straight improv challenge kind of deal. Like that was probably my favorite.
I was very curious how you guys were going to tackle that, and I cannot say that I was disappointed at all.
And we nailed it.
You did. Absolutely. Okay. Okay. So I guess follow up. Was there any part of the previous campaign that you remember that you absolutely just said, "Nope, this sucks. I hate it." And it's okay. You can be honest. This is a safe space. This helps me do is to not put more things in that you guys just absolutely hate.
I don't want to say something that I hated because I didn't, but I do feel like there were times where we would derail a little bit, like we would just be fucking around and we not actually make progress.
Mhm.
So sometimes I feel like that got a little, I don't know, I guess annoying when we got there and it was only like 3 minutes of actual gameplay happened, and we were just kind of messing around or joking around or not really doing anything that mattered.
Mhm. No, no, no. That makes total sense.
Yeah, so I feel like sometimes, and as you know, playing like especially in the Fallen Star campaign, like sometimes we can take 4 hours and do absolutely nothing.
It was way worse in that game.
Yeah, so we have that capability, and I feel like it didn't happen a lot, but there was a few times where I was like, all right, like, we got to move it along. Yeah, I'm done with the woods. Let's go.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. All right, Jesse, what do you think? Do you feel that the previous campaign had a good mix of things, and it didn't lean too much in one type of gameplay? And then you'll get the same follow up. Was there anything that you absolutely just hated? You hated it. You hated it. You hated it. Don't want to do that anymore.
Uh, the gameplay I loved. I like the fact that, the different race characters that we were dealing with. Um, I liked the fact that we were in a realm that was chaotic to begin with, and you just put some of us in there, and it might, like Bill said, made it easier for us to derail the session because of all the chaos that some characters,
Mhm.
Elvin, could cause. But uh, but yeah, that there was no repetition on like boss fights, puzzles, stuff like that, and it was nice. Especially when you get used to playing in the Faerun, in that kind of realm, and then um go there and have all the just you're basically in that one little area.
Mhm.
So you have to, on your part, that made you have to be more creative of what the stuff is, because it's not like you could expand that far out from there, from Ravnica.
It was hard.
So, but I liked going out towards the Gruul when
Mhm.
we, with the giant one-eyed, the Cyclops, the troll,
Mhm.
with the six-armed gorilla, chasing us through the trees.
That was a good session. Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. Um, the only thing, I like Bill. Nothing I'm really going to hate about D&D. A bad session of D&D is still better than a good day somewhere else. So,
Yep.
but yeah, there's sometimes we might have got a little carried away with our shopping sessions, or um, yeah, like you said, we get on a tangent doing something else and get sidetracked from what we were doing.
Mhm.
But I wouldn't really say I hate that, because that led to different adventures that we kind of broke more chaos loose.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think Ravnica would have been better off if we probably just didn't even meet each other. So some of the chaos was like self-inflicted.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, well, that's good. I feel like shopping episodes they are either really fun or really not fun. And as a DM, I'm not gonna lie to you, it is hard. It's actually hard to do them. I it's probably one of my least favorite things. I don't hate it. Sometimes it's necessary, but yeah, I kind of agree with you guys, because then you have some people who are like ready to go quest and do an adventure, but then you got other guys who want to buy some stuff, and like they want to interact with the world and interact with NPCs, and you have a
Oh,
couple people who are just like, I just want to go anywhere else.
well, I'm not totally against the shopping, and like I like that part where we interact with the shopkeeper and all that. But then it feels like sometimes we get a little carried away with it.
Yeah, sometimes.
So.
All right, well that's good. That's good. That's a pretty good, fair answer. I'm glad that so far everybody seems like they felt that the balance was good. All right, Rob, I'm gonna pose the same two questions to you. Uh, Everything balanced enough? What it didn't was it skewed too much in one way towards combat or puzzles or whatever? And was there anything about the previous campaign you were just like, nope, let's not do that anymore?
No, I liked the mix for sure. I liked how we could kind of explore Ravnica
Mhm.
at our own pace for a lot of the campaign. And the way you set up the challenges for the guild race, that how we could pretty much go in any order that we wanted to was pretty cool too. Um, as for second part, I mean, yeah, I can kind of agree with the derailing sometimes, but I mean, doesn't bother me too much. I feel like a lot of D&D parties in general have that issue.
Mhm. Yep.
Um, yeah, mine does. My other group does. But
Yeah, they do.
it's just if it's something you're conscious about, I mean, it's not too hard to avoid.
Okay. Well, again, I feel like that's the pretty fair answer. Um, I guess Jess, anything you want to add onto that as far as like feeling like things were balanced and um or if there was things you hated?
No, I think it's pretty balanced. And even when we're just not feeling like combat, like we want to sneak by it or we want to talk our way out of it, you do sometimes let us off the hook.
Oh,
So,
no,
as long as
that's
we earn it.
that's yeah, exactly. I don't be like, well, no one feels like fighting today. They don't get to fight. If you
No,
guys
we
have
have to
a
earn
creative
it.
way to get around the combat, then
Yeah,
absolutely,
we have to earn that shit.
yeah.
But yeah, even the getting distracted doesn't bother me so much because I mean, in a different game, we got a different group, we got distracted by trying to build a raft.
No, no,
So,
no.
I mean,
There was no we, and you weren't even in that.
okay, I was trying to direct us somewhere else, but it's fine.
It was fine, and because I kind of feel like a lot of times when the group gets distracted, usually everyone's still having a good time, and
Exactly. That's why I don't mind it.
and I feel that that's why most people don't mind it. But you can definitely tell, like when someone realizes we're not getting shit done, we need to move on. So, all right, well, I guess last but not least, Aaron. What you? Oh, boo.
Oh, no, did not freeze. Maybe, I don't know. All right, besides the point. So I would say everything was, I don't know, everything was fun. I mean, I always look forward to the sessions, even if I knew there was probably a high potential of going around shopping and doing all that fun stuff. Um, but overall like the balance. Don't really care if there's a lot of dead air when it comes to the puzzles, because we had a few puzzles that I thought were fair but challenging. So it was
Mhm.
kind of a nice mix because I feel like that's a big part of the game that gets missed sometimes. And I would say for maybe rookie DMs, it's a nice little touch. Doesn't have to be all the time, but when it matters the most, I think that's when you're going to get the best reaction.
Mhm. Okay.